sentence was just handed down in federal court. Former County Commissioner Jimmy Dimora sentenced to 336 months in federal prison. That works out to 28 years, I believe, behind bars. Judge Sarah Leoy announced that sentence just about 5 or 6 seconds ago. We are bringing this to you live from Akron. Let me set the stage for you for a bit. The sentencing hearing for Mr. Dimora began yesterday, it seems perhaps to many of us a week ago, at 9:30 yesterday morning. For the entire day yesterday, they were discussing all kinds of aspects of the imposed sentence, what defense attorneys felt would be appropriate, what government prosecutors felt would be appropriate. And believe it or not, that consumed the entire day yesterday. And if you've been following this closely, you also know that by the end of the day, out of consideration for some family members and friends of Mr. Dimora, Judge Leoy allowed Mr. Dimora's daughter, Lisa, to take the stand and to talk about what a good father Mr. Dimora was. At that time, Mr. Dimora got somewhat emotional listening to her describe him as a great father, a man who never missed any of her birthdays. But this morning it resumed, and they got down in the weeds once again, discussing what in the federal sentencing world are called federal sentencing guidelines. And without getting too detailed on that, it essentially controls, if you will, what a federal court judge is allowed to impose on a defendant. In this case, Mr. Dimora, as you just heard, received 28 years in prison on federal corruption charges, $98,000 in restitution that he will owe Cuyahoga County as a result of his criminal activity. And as part of a forfeiture plan that was worked out also and finalized over the last couple of months and initialized yesterday, Mr. Dimora will have to relinquish about $122,000 of his state pension that he earned over the years as a public servant. And he will also have to turn over 50% of the value of his Independence home, which is valued roughly at about $400,000, maybe slightly north of $400,000. And in addition to that, now that this case has now been finalized, once Dimora's defense attorneys appeal that case officially, and the Court of Appeals affirms this, the ruling and the sentence, Mrs. Dimora has 6 months to vacate the Independence home, at which time the government will get 50% value, roughly $200,000, and Mrs. Dimora will be able to retain the other half of that. So again, most importantly, former County Commissioner Jimmy Dimora, once the most powerful politician in Cuyahoga County and among the most powerful politicians in all of Ohio, Democratic politicians, will now spend 28 years in a federal prison for his crimes. Now, I want to bring you back just about, I'd say 20 minutes ago. Mr. Dimora was addressed the court, and as I first reported early Tuesday morning through sources, that he would speak, and then this morning there seemed to be some hesitancy, but he did in fact address the court. And for anyone who might have been expecting that Jimmy Dimora would fall on his sword somewhat, ask for mercy, try to explain away some of this, he in fact told Federal Judge Leoy that he has no regrets whatsoever. He has no reservations. And he insisted that everything that he did related to his criminal conspiracy was done for the taxpayers of Cuyahoga County. I'm not sure that that helped him a great deal, but that is a part and parcel of what he had to say, that he didn't feel that he did anything criminal. And he did get emotional at one point when he described to the judge his feelings and his affection, his love for his wife. So as we begin to wrap here a little bit, there's going to be a news conference, but I want to throw it back to you right now. Reporting live in Akron, I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.